Hi guys, this is Ben from Ben's RPG Pile, and today we're going to talk about how to build a crumbled passageway. You have a lot of encounters where you kind of have to travel from one spot to another in a dungeon, and I got kind of sick of those encounters. You just walk over here and then this happens. So I thought by making a passageway that was unique and had some unique features to it, that would make things more engaging, and I could essentially create a couple encounters as I walk from key room to key room. So I decided to do kind of an impromptu video today. I figured why not show you how to do that. So the first thing is the key is to create a path that doesn't really look like a straight path, right? So what you're going to see is you put lots of pieces down where a mini will fit, but not in the traditional sense, right? Traditional sense would be you put them on one square, right? And it's just square for square, right? Real easy. In a passageway, you kind of make the illusion of a square, right? Like, so two squares essentially take up parts of two squares, make one square. So that's really important as you're going along. See, everything's essentially one movement. Okay, that's the big key, and you'll kind of see here when I put a couple together. See, you can make a pretty respectable passageway with lots of little nooks and crannies and jutting out positions, and it gets pretty interesting, right? So I'm going to show you kind of all the different pieces that we use to do that. So the first thing is your molds, right? Hearst Arts is we're big fans of Hearst Arts, and these are a couple of the molds. These are fieldstone brick molds. Okay, so like this, right? Like so, and on our website, on our weekly blog post, you'll be able to figure out exactly which numbers we're using. But besides the Hearst Arts molds, you also can use some Woodland Scenics. They got some great rock molds that pop out rock pieces that help you place those throughout the hallways. So Woodland Scenics also has some great molds that you should take a look at. Okay, so after you've kind of created your pieces and you've cast them, traditionally I don't glue things down. I keep everything kind of modular so that I can place it wherever I need to, right? So that's the most flexibility. But when you're making a passageway, you can't rely on that, because all it takes is one bump of the table and all your pieces kind of move around, and then everything's out of whack measurement wise. So these you definitely want to glue down. You still have great flexibility in how you lay them out, because you're going to do them in individual pieces, right? But it's better to have these glued down, okay? For my paint, for my floors, right, there's a floor, I use the Graveyard Earth from Games Workshop. It's just the easiest. I prime them black, I dry brush them with the Graveyard Earth, bada boom, all done. Okay. For my walls, there's my walls, right? I use again, Games Workshop. That's my favorite paint. Fortress Gray, Codex Gray, and then I usually even put a little white on there. Okay. So that's kind of what I do for the walls. And then this is important. Delvin Mud is a wash, and the wash is what gives you that that kind of dirty, dark color within the brick. Okay, very different from you're deep underground, so you need to give kind of a mud feel. So I use ink. The key, though, what I've learned, and I wish I would have done it on these, is don't cover every piece with the Delvin Mud. Pick your spots. It's better if only parts of it are covered in the dark and other parts are lighter. You get more contrast that way. So if I had to do this over again, I would use less of the ink wash. Okay. Next thing we'll talk about is the flock. Flock is very, very important in passageways. Okay, and you have a lot of great options. You can use vines, right? These are vines from Skullcrafts. They're one of my favorite little companies out there. They have some great flock choices, but these are like dead vines, right? And then you got your traditional kind of a green moss flock, right? Gale Force 9 does some really nice little rubble pieces, so you can use these and kind of place those throughout the hallways. And then of course sand. Let's see if I can find you a good sand one. Yeah, this is probably the best for sand. Sand also really makes a difference, right? The ceiling above is caving in, that kind of thing. But again, you got to be kind with the sand. Don't overdo it. I guess that's with any flock. Don't overdo it. And what I often do when I'm putting the flock in is, especially with the moss, I'll kind of wedge it into those crevices. Right? I'll push it down a lot because it's just it looks a little bit better. But I really try to. I always overdo it, and every time I get done, I just say I wish I would have done less. So those are your different flock pieces. Columns are really important. You know, kind of the area around them collapsing. So these columns are out of Hearst Arts, and there are lots of different ways you can paint those columns. Kind of your ivory, right? Kind of your dingy gray, and then this is kind of a combo of the two kind of thing. I used ivory for this particular setup only because I just like the contrast, right? Key thing whenever you're making your terrain is get as much contrast in there as you can. And then of course, you have lots of different pieces that you can put within your corridor, right? You can put some skulls in there, right? There are skulls. You can put coin piles in there. You can put whole skeletons in there. You can even put like a broken gate in there kind of thing, like leaning against, right? You can do even do torches whenever you need to, and then of course you can do rocks, and then you know the rocks are great because you can fill those in however you need to when you're moving along. So that's kind of what I do for little accent pieces. You can do spider webs, all sorts of stuff. That's that stuff you can get at the hobby store. I use that occasionally. Okay, and then my favorite part and really the funnest part of creating the thing is you get to fill up all those monsters, right? And there are lots of choices. Elementals, my favorite, one of my favorite minis of all the sets actually. Dark mantles, right? Stuff that can fall from the ceilings, stuff that can come out of small cracks, right? Like the snake. Spiders, of course. Bats, shadows, rats, sturges. Stuff I'm never not even sure what they are, bugs or whatever, right? So your inhabitants are also very important, you know, so make sure you come up with it gives you lots of different choices, right? You don't have to put the same monster in there every time. But that's kind of the gist of it, you know, and then you just slap them together, right? So now you kind of got a real encounter that people can, it's not just I just walked over there. Now your dwarf is walking down that hallway, and you can have a fire bat pop out of a shadow, right? So just stuff to think about, guys, and hopefully this will kind of sparkle your game up a little bit and give you some more options. I try to put little flock piles here and there. I try to combine the pieces a lot. If I have to do one thing again, I wish I would have made some more where it gave me the opportunity to make a corner, right? I kind of did that accidentally on this particular piece, but I need to make a few more pieces that open it up for turns, right? I kind of did it too much in a straight line. But there it is. That's how you can make a crumbled passageway and add a little more fun into your game, and it looks really cool and it's a lot of fun. So be sure to check us out on Twitter. Check out our Facebook page, which has lots of fun links to stuff on the web. Enjoy our weekly blog, which will list a lot of the things that we talked about here and give you links to them. And be sure to watch our weekly podcast where you'll be able to see people play, our guys play in these pieces, and you kind of see how it worked out and you know, what did work and what didn't work. But there it is, guys. Thanks. See ya.
Make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will.